This story is about Perseus and Andromeda. Perseus wakes up in the morning. He's woken up by the sun, and he puts on his armor, and he puts on his flying shoes that are able to fly because they have wings. And he's flying away from Ethiopia, and near Ethiopia, there is a kingdom that is ruled by Cepheus, who is the father of Andromeda. Now, this is Andromeda, who was chained by Ammon, and Andromeda is very embarrassed because she was chained, and so she's trying to hide her face, but she's chained up, so it's impossible because both of her arms are chained up, so she's crying. And so Ammon chains her to a mountainside, and on the mountainside, Perseus realizes that there's a beautiful girl just chained up on the mountainside, so he goes over and he watches her kind of stalkerously, and then she kind of looks at him. And so then after that, he asks her a lot of questions. He asks her, why are you chained up? These don't fit you. You're a beautiful girl. And she, tells him her whole story. And in the book, it does not really cover up what she really said, but she basically fills him in, and then something emerges from the water. And from the water, there is a sea monster that Ammon hired to guard it, as you can see right here. So this sea monster is guarding Andromeda. So Perseus goes away and he meets up with Andromeda's parents, Cepheus, Cassiope. And they talk, and he says, I will save your daughter if you allow me to marry her. And so the parents, kind of like Phaethon and Phobos, they spoke a little bit too quickly and they said, deal. And so, yes, they were saving their daughter, but they didn't really think it through that much. And so they were thinking good, but they didn't think of bargaining a little bit. And so they said yes. So Perseus gets ready to fight this gigantic sea monster. And he fights it. He's fighting the sea monster, and he cuts in between, like, one. So in a mermaid, how the fin of the mermaid, the tail, splits into two. Perseus cut in between those two tails, and he split it, and it hurt so bad that the monster threw up purple liquid into the ocean. And then he sliced its shoulder blade, and then he repeatedly stabbed the beast in the stomach until it died. And so after he died, Perseus then took his future bride, and they all celebrated, and they sacrificed a bull. They sacrificed a bull to Jove, a cow to Minerva, and then a calf to the swift god with wings upon his feet. And Perseus puts down Medusa's head on the sand, and it turns all the twigs to coral. And so that's a explanation to why there's coral. So for themes, we're going to talk about lust, because obviously Perseus lusted after Andromeda. And then parenting, as I explained in the story about Andromeda's parents making that rash decision. And then selfishness, because Perseus only wanted Andromeda as his wife, and so he found an easy way to do it. The connections were that, between Phaethon, as I explained, lust, also in the stories of love. Deeper connections is that you always make deals with people to get what you want in life, and speaking without thinking, as the parents did. And then love always goes with life. And that is all. Thank you.